Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Wana PowerHouse na mafans wote wa PowerHouse. Today we are talking to the legend himself, who has nurtured almost like a cool like 60% of the industry right now. The movers and shakers, kina Abel Mutua. Shout out to all of you. Nataka muone hii video nyinyi wote and hype it as much as possible. We need to hype our mwalimu. He has done so much for us.
Sure.
So, welcome back,
Thank you.
sir.
Appreciate
And I want us to talk about the college festival because I participated in the festival from high school when I was in the great high school.
Yes.
Those people who don't know English, they call it Dagoretti High School.
Yes. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in Dago. We participated there, and you reached out to me. Tukakuja mass, and I think my experience of the festival and even the kind of mentorship I got through the initiatives in the colleges festival was very unique because there is one workshop, that specific workshop that I participated in, which turned me from a performer to a choreographer.
Oh, sure.
So now, give us a journey of, you've told us about how colleges at some point were not in the main festival. So at what point did the colleges come into the main festival? And then how did you get involved in, the administration of the festival within Nairobi?
Yeah. I do not want to go to the history of the Kenya National Drama Festival. The Company of Film came much later in 2012. So it has all along been the Kenya National Drama Festival.
Yes.
And of course, anybody is aware that it began in 1959 and basically comprising mostly Asian and European schools and the African government schools. But I want to move further away from there because it was actually involving basic education. That is mostly it was involving secondary schools. And the festival was pegged on the British curriculum. The British system was doing theatre, and that theatrical part of it in terms of practicals was being upheld by schools festival. And of course the winner would then go to perform at the governor's office, the colonial governor's office in Nairobi, which is now State House. And that tradition has kept over. That at any given time, the moment you finish the national festival, a few items who are winners move on to perform for the president. And the president of the Republic of Kenya, now Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, is the patron of the Kenya National Drama and Film Festival. And of course the CS, Professor Magoha, is surrogate patron and comes down to the Executive Secretary National. So basically His Excellency the President is the national patron of the Kenya National Drama and Film Festival. So when that began, as I told you earlier, it was basically a secondary affair. In 1974, we had a gentleman at the University of Nairobi called Joe de Kraft, who was basically head of the department dealing with drama in education, advised the ministry that because of the fact that most of those who are in colleges are the ones who would go down to cascade this kind of knowledge or skill to the pupils or to the learners, it was important that the drama festival also involve teacher training colleges. So that in the next 2 years, they would go down and they were posted immediately. The moment you finish, you graduate, you already have a school.
Yes.
So they would go and begin to train, because the best way of sharpening skill is doing what you call TOT, training of trainers. So train the teachers who would then bring this knowledge down to the lower level. So Joe de Kraft, who was at the University of Nairobi,
the author of
Muntu, basically asked the Ministry of Education to introduce drama in colleges. So the festival from 1974, in terms of colleges, was basically a reserve of the teacher training colleges. We also are aware of Professor Tumba, who was basically in Kisii. We are aware of many others in Siriba, which is now Msiani University, who assisted to move this journey of colleges into the festival. And of course, later on, they would all come and perform at the National Theatre. And of course, the festival was basically different from secondary schools, and they were performing at their own level, but later on it merged together. But then, you're also very much aware in Nairobi, we have also had the general, remember the management of the festival is basically by the National Executive Secretary on behalf of the CS. By and large, the PS had been, the management is, when it comes to colleges, it has its own management, which reports to the CS, to the ES, and primary, which reports to the ES, and also colleges and universities which report to the ES. So the Executive Secretary is basically the central management pillar, but all others have their own levels of management. So in Nairobi, we had quite a very vibrant team. The first ever chairman of Nairobi was Mr. James Okanga. James Okanga. We also had Madam Mary Jambo of Kenya Science, and we had the current lady who is the lead actor, the mother-in-law, who was by then a lecturer tutor at the High Reach Teachers Training College. Yes. So she was there as a patron and the choreographer and the playwright for items from the High Reach Teachers Training College. Yes, she has come from this, she's a product of the Kenya National Drama and Film Festival. Yes, yeah. So basically it moved on like that, and later on it was also realized that coming from the fact that the craft had asked that we must be able to have what we call TOT, training of trainers. We must be able to involve teachers into theatre so they can go and cascade this kind of knowledge to the lower level. It was also felt that we must also be able to train students in colleges. And that's why you may have been involved in an only workshop comprising students of drama in colleges. What informs this? Most of these people who are in colleges are the same people who are able to go and do this kind of art in schools. So let us train them. If you look at the kind of training workshop we have for primary and secondary, they are basically involving teachers. They are not involving students.
Yes.
But in colleges, some of these students have been in high school as playwrights. They have been directors. They have been choreographers. They have been lead comedy coaches. So if we have them, then it will be very important that we add value to them by imparting skill, knowledge, and attitude, so they will be able to perform very well. So we began that journey. And the first ever training workshop was at Kenya Teachers Training College. That was in 1995. Then in 1996, we went on to Kenya Industrial Training College in Isili, and we began moving around this workshop across the Republic, because we endeavor to make sure that now it is actually being run by the Nairobi Committee. At the moment, it is the reserve of the Nairobi Committee, which felt that besides just going on stage, let us train these trainees, let us train these students in colleges to be able to do their own art. You will also realize that if you look at the universities, you have been in KU and you know for a fact that those who do choreography, who do write plays are students.
Yes.
So if you take a professor, you take a lecturer to a training, what value addition are you giving? Come and train these students who's doing theatre and film.
Yes.
Can go and train others, can add value to others. So we actually use this kind of understanding, and we began training of workshops for students, a few of them alongside their teachers to a particular workshop. And it has worked very well. We comprise all colleges and we bring on board universities. We've done it pretty well. And the last one before Corona, we were all the way to Kitale, National Polytechnic. So after that, we have never stopped at any given time. Even when we had repeat elections in 2017, we went all the way to Shansu, Teacher Training College. And that weekend was the weekend for election, for second round of elections. And we traveled all the way to Shansu, National Workshop. That one is actually what has been able to make our colleges perform with vibrancy at the Kenya National Drama and Film Festival. Remember, there are some days when audience would break gates to come and watch a play from the Kabarak High School, from the Government African School Kakamega, from Dagoretti High School where you are, dance, from Tumutumu Girls, from Kaga Girls, from Kisumu Day. So while they were breaking doors to go and watch this item,
very happy about the Kisumu Day.
Group of schools.
Of schools.
Yes, so with this kind of imparting of skill, knowledge, and attitude to our students, we now began seeing vibrancy of colleges performing with the proper adherence to rules and regulations, with the proper understanding of the rubrics of the Kenya National Drama and Film Festival. So Drama Festival for colleges hall, they are also attracting enormous amount of people coming to watch. And remember, during the one hall system, primary schools would perform early morning, colleges would come on board late morning, going on to early afternoon. Then we have our friends, siblings from high school come and too. That's when people leave their villages to come and watch. But they had left the gap for colleges. We would actually be left in alone to perform. But today, I want to tell you that halls for colleges are attracting a lot of audience, just like it would be for halls for secondary schools.
When I was in college, and I think evidently after that, when I was in KMC, and evidently after that, there was a lot of very healthy competition between colleges. I remember colleges like, well, in Nairobi, we had NYS, the three NYS.
The NYS, yes, yeah.
Yes, the three NYSs. We had Togoto, TTC, we had Kabete.
We had even Kenya Science.
We had Kenya Science.
Yes. We had
and I
Kenya.
think Machakos TTC was also
Machakos, yes,
coming.
yeah, Machakos, yeah.
So, what has, you know, considering you are in administration of the festival, what has kept that festival, the college festival, so vibrant that times if you want to watch the college festival and enjoy it, come to Nairobi, don't even go to the nationals.
Yes, yeah.
What has kept it so vibrant? And in terms of leadership, what has kept it so stable?
Yeah, we have had what we call consistency in management in Nairobi. And we know who's doing what, who should do what, devolved powers. And we have asked all our principals, who are our CEOs, to give us the opportunity to manage on their behalf. There's no way a principal in a national polytechnic with strength of over 18,000, like at Kabete National Polytechnic, can be a chairman or can be a treasurer for a festival. It's like asking the Vice Chancellor of University of Nairobi, Professor Kiama, to be a chairman of colleges of University in Nairobi. The gentleman will not be available. So they have devolved that power to us to manage, because we have time and we have the passion. And we have the passion at any given time to manage this affair. We know what we are doing. We are adjudicators, we are facilitators. So when you are talking about something, you are talking with authority. When you are able to manage, we are able to provide specific requirements or specific bills of quantity for the stage. You understand the techniques of stage craft. You know why rostrums are required. You know why space is required for a dance, for instance. You know where adjudicators are supposed to sit. You know the entire architecture of the hall, or proscenium hall. If you asked, for instance, a vice chancellor from university A or B to be a chairman, to be a treasurer, to be executive secretary, or to be secretary, would he be able to manage with having more than 10,000 students on campus? No way. And that is how we have been able to manage it. I want to believe that elsewhere we have a problem. So where that we find that maybe there's a lot of involvement with the Principals Association. The Principals Association are very, very busy. The Principals Association are very, very busy. Unlike secondary, the Principals Association in secondary schools, because there are very many, they devolve the powers to other principals who may not be very busy. And you'll be surprised that if you look at the kind of chairmen we have, they are coming from small schools. I'll tell you this for free. You cannot expect a principal of a very big school of about 2,500 students to be, I do know, we have had our good friends like Oliver Minish, who is always available because he has passion for drama. But if you just ask anybody to be say a chairman for drama, for instance, in colleges, it will be very difficult. Our principals in the colleges are very busy, and there's no single time they will manage to provide quality management in the festival. And that's why they have been able to trust us, and we do our work very well based on the trust they have for us. And that's how we have been able to make Nairobi become very vibrant. Because if you go to national, for many, many years, Father Nairobi is winning. It's winning. A school from Nairobi is #1. Nairobi colleges are #1 overall. Other than when we were in Kisumu, when we had Kisumu Eldred National Polytechnic, skipping out with everything. Yes.
So now, we've, and I think this is common knowledge. We've not had the festival for 2 years now.
Yes, yeah.
And sometimes I look at the the WhatsApp and the Facebook walls at drama festivals, and people are just writing the book of lamentations.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
As a festival manager, from a management point of view, what has these COVID restrictions done to the festival? And are we expecting the festival to come back? And when it comes, how are we going to handle the festival?
As a manager, I have felt the pain, and I feel the pain on behalf of my participants who are just coming to my office asking, Mwalimu, when are we going to have the festival? And I always ask them, look at the figures. Look at the figures. Even as wherever we are in terms of our normal classrooms, our normal arrangements in the lecture theaters, we are not moving on in a normal way. We have reduced some classes. Where classes were bigger, we have reduced those classes into small cells. And where possible, we use tent. When we have a whole class, we use tent, an open space where we can have our learners, our trainees be able to learn. However, we must learn to navigate through the system. And that's why in October 2020, the executive secretary asked technical team to come to Nakuru Day Second School to be able to ask all the brains in theatre, in schools and colleges, to come and assist the Minister of Education to know how we can navigate through the system. You may be aware that all other recreation activities are open. You are aware that the Kenya Premier League is going on.
Yes.
Without fans.
We had the under 20.
We had the under 20
of course,
in Kasarani.
I know you are a very staunch Ingwe.
Yes, I'm an Ingwe fan.
Fans
I only watch it in one of the local pay TV, that is Star Times. So we can be able to navigate through the system with available technical approach to it. We have been able to make proposals that, one, because our primary schools are very many and are spread in various sub-counties, we can have recorded performances, and the storage can be taken to a particular venue. Say if in Nairobi we can go, say, to Moi Girls High School, second school, and ask adjudicators to come and watch it on a silver screen. That is sub-county because of crowding. Then pick 2 items or 3 items, they move to next level. At county level, we can still be able to do recording, ask the teachers to polish where there are comments given, repolish and reshoot. Then we pick the best items, go to the regional, and regional can be physical with various restrictions. Where Team A arrives on stage, performs, removes the fatigue, sanitize, we clear the stage, what do you call it, fumigation, we fumigate the stage, and that team moves into the auditorium to watch Team B. When Team B has performed, Team A goes to the village, Team B does the same round, remove the fatigue, sanitize, fumigate, they become audience for Team C. Team B moves back the village. Team C does the performance, and so that routine goes on. We will be actually allowing, because theatre must be watched. You can't perform theatre to nobody. Even the madman in the marketplace must have an audience. A madman cannot perform without an audience.
Yeah.
So we must have a small audience, and then perform and go, perform and go, perform and go. That is what we are trying to suggest. We have said colleges because, one, there are very few, and their first level is at the regional. They perform in the same manner. Perform, watch, clear. Perform, watch, clear. They go back to the villages. And then we can now say a few items are identified, they go to national, and national can be reduced from 9 days, from 7 days to 5 days, 2 days gala. Because we have 7 days performance, 2 days gala, then 1 day state concert. So we can reduce that. So that we have very few items traveling to national, but at the same time, we're able to keep the locomotive moving. The locomotive must move.
It doesn't have
Our
to stop.
children cannot stay in class 24/7. And you do know that the child psychology works well with this play. Too much work without play will make our child not be able to function well. Soul and mind and body. Soul, mind and body must work. Must be put to action.
To task.
To task. So just sitting on the lecture theatre seat, going to eat, going to the hostel room, that alone cannot be sustained. We are asking, is there a better way we can have our children play? Look at EPL. They began without fans. Is now the terraces are full.
Full stadium.
Full stadium. There's never been an upsurge in the pandemic since they allowed the full stadium. We tried it with the Europa Cup. It worked. Where teams were traveling, instead of being at a venue, you travel.
Yeah.
So they had more than 12 venues. It worked. It was like a tournament. It was like a league when it was actually a tournament. It worked. So we can still do the same way. We go to national perform a few days, and we are saying the ECD suggests ECD does not perform physically because of they are vulnerable. They perform on camera. The DVDs brought for adjudication. The best team is identified to go and perform the state concert without appearing physically at national. That is what we are trying to look at.
And any adjudicator above 60 years.
Any adjudicator above 60 years. And we're also saying we can use other forms of adjudication. Yes, we don't have to speak to each other. We can speak through talkbacks. We can still discuss through talkbacks.
That, you know, what you've described and the way you know the character of the festival.
Yes.
Wale watu tumeonewa, watu wametuma M-Pesa. So I'm thinking about people have not watched these items.
Yes.
Team B is the one that watched Team A, so Team C does not know what Team A performed. And then Team A wins. Then Team C is saying, no, there's no way Team A can beat us.
Yes.
So what are the innovative ways around it in such a way that everyone is able to access?
Yeah, we're trying to work out a formula.
As much as it's not everyone who is supposed to be.
Today, Gabu, even a simple birthday can be watched by 100 people. People these days are streaming a birthday. Your auntie is in Europe and cannot come for the birthday. You stream through Facebook.
And eat virtual cake.
And eat virtual cake. People are doing that. Weddings, funerals. People are attending funerals virtually. People are attending graduations virtually. Today, a graduation of about 10,000 students. Your name is called. You stand in your comfort zone and stand and pick a salute. You may graduate.
Unarusha kofia
juu. Unamaliza maneno. You can even go and hire a gown in a neighboring university. You don't have to come all the way to Nairobi. Yes. You can hire a gown in Masina Muliro. If you are coming from Kakamega, why would you come all the way to Nairobi to clear when you can clear online?
Yes.
When you are fees online. If you can do exams online, can you clear online?
You can.
Yes, you can clear online and stay there. Go and take a gown or even go to a fundi.
Unaenda Muliro Gardens.
Yes. Unamaliza graduation huko nakuja. So if this is happening all over, people are having conferences all over the world, virtually. Why can't you also have a physical virtually, a festival virtually? And of course, the likes of the Gabu are the people we're looking for, people who have equipment, who can come over and assist us to run this event without any problem. So that's what we're looking forward to.
All right.
But
so
however, complaints will also be there, even in a physical festival. We've had them all over. Even in the World Cup, we always have them. The goal has been scored, they've seen it physically, someone's complaining.
I think that is one of the main characteristics of our festival.
Yes.
People must complain.
Definitely.
Which is something that's maybe for a future discussion.
Yes.
The question of adjudication. That one I think we'll do in the future.
Sure.
Now, what I want to conclude with before we go to the last part is, now what is the future? What does the future look like? Because right now what we are doing is going through, hypotheticals.
Yes.
This is what is possible. So right now, do we have any concrete plan about the future? Where is the festival going? Are we going to a virtual festival? Are we hoping that this virus will stop misbehaving and then we go physical? What's the future like?
we must dance in the trajectories of life. We must be able to move along with them. You realize that when people are saying that you perform, stage play is performed once. It lives one life at a go. You perform, you use your backdrops as kuni, firewood, and you have spent more than 200,000. We said we can also transform those scripts into film. Film is for posterity. Film can be watched 100 years from now. So we are trying to see how we can move forward. So we are trying to look at other ways can we navigate through this system. But however, as we said earlier, there is quite some talk going on that we can be able to have our festival anytime soon. All factors considered, we can have the festival in the new normal. And the new normal means that we must be able to drop other things and we pick other trades. We may not like them, but we must pick them because one, the situation is forcing us to pick them. So the festival will go on. Well, if the national Premier League can go on, why not have our children play? The Premier League is comprising young people and adults, old people, sitting on the bench, 90, 70 years, as coaches. Yeah? I'm not talking about mine of Arsenal, who's young. I'm talking about serious old coaches that are staying together with these young people playing. We can also move toward the direction. And with the vaccine coming on board and everybody having vaccinated, we see hope. We see hope. We can still be able to live with it. We have lived with HIV and AIDS. It's a serial killer. We have lived with malaria, serial killer. We can still be able to sustain. We can navigate under these circumstances. We can navigate through the terrain, through the system.
All right. So now, being a mentor and a person who has gone through the entertainment industry, what is it that you'd want to encourage someone who looks up to you, someone who says, I look up to Msiani. I would want to achieve what Msiani has achieved. What would you do?
I would say believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and try to identify specific peculiar traits in you. And your peculiar traits in you is what makes you be who you are. I want to take an example from Njugush. Njugush, if you listen to his life, he had never been on any stage anywhere, received any an award, received any trophy anywhere. But when he came over to us and we noticed that he can do much well, just as a comical motif on stage, we were able to exploit that comical motif with this thin size body. And we were able to manipulate his body to be able to make some particular, shapes.
I remember that Kiswahili play.
The Kiswahili play, yes, yeah. Yes. I remember that time. That time we were in Mukumu. We are in Mukumu Girls, where we were performing. And Njugush, we had performed earlier in Mukumu Girls, then we performed in Nairobi. No, we performed in Nairobi, then performed in Mukumu Girls. So you exploit what you have. If you are just good at smiling, you can be used. Joseph Murungu will use you to just be a smiling machine on stage, and you make a mark with it. If you have a very good vocals in terms of singing, you can be exploited by Ongwen of Riara. Just to sing nice vocals, nice a cappella in the backstage. Use it. We cannot all be lead characters. You may find that that particular, so to speak, extra may pick an award. And you as the main character, main actor, who picks the main character traits, you may miss something. So I always believe in, one, utilize what you are able within humanly possible abilities. And when you can do it as if your life relies on it. There will be nobody else with that kind of traits. There was nobody else with the traits of Njugush. And when Abel Mutua noticed that trait in Njugush, picked him. Njugush doesn't have to speak for you to laugh. By looking at him, you are laughing already. The body language alone, you are laughing. So if you have that ability, why not? Go for it. And if you have talent in theater, why are you going to waste time to do architecture? Why are you wasting time to go and do law?
Engineering.
This young man who came to me from Kakamega School told me, Mwalimu, I want to be in film. I want to be in broadcasting. I have scored an A. I advised him to go ahead and do it. And he's doing it. And by the way, this industry, the industry of showbiz, you can come from nothing to something. Azziad, a girl from St. Cecilia Musero Girls, she came to my office asking for a chance. She has talked several times on her platform about how we became a springboard for her. She left and said, I don't want to go to any other college. I don't want to go to Sangalo, which is neighboring to our school. I don't want to go to Masinde Muliro. I want to go to Kenya's mass communication. She arrived there, and we gave her the platform, and she's doing very well. When she comes to class, she is that student called Azziad. But when she leaves the gate, we as the school give her freedom to use her talent to make money. I was trying to look at YouTube, and they were saying she's worth more than 5 million. As per last week, she could now be more than 7 million, and she's at second year. So what will happen when she moves out? She'll be worth 100 million. She'll be worth 1 billion. So utilize your opportunity. Azziad is good. She's a multi-purpose. Multi-talented. Yes. She's a very good actress on stage. Let her start dancing. She's very good. Let her start catwalking. She's very good in modeling. So utilize what you have. If she had gone to do law, would she be what she is today? She'll be struggling with clients who are not coming.
And saying the law is very clear.
Yeah, the law is very clear. Yes, and you lose your case. And that's it. So she's happy with what she's doing, and we give her freedom to do it. At Kenya Mass Communication, when you have talent, so long as that talent does not bring deviance behavior, we'll give you an opportunity, and you go ahead and do it. We have given them the platform to do anything, so long as they're living within the confines of the rules and regulations.
All right, just a final one. You keep giving examples of your students who've gone out there and done it, and you keep track of all that.
Yes, yeah.
And there's a question that has reigned in the festival for a very long time.
Yes.
And at some point, people are complaining, "Oh, where do you want us to go after the festival? What life do we lead after the festival?" You seem to have knowledge of where people go after the festival.
Yes, yeah.
So ukitumanga salamu, where do people go after the festival?
There's something I do, and you are one of the witnesses. I make a follow-up to my colleague teachers in high school. Why waste talent? You would have gone to do production,
telecommunication,
engineering. You would have gone to Multimedia University to do telecommunication engineering. It wouldn't have helped you a lot. I talked to your trainer, who is a lawyer also, and I looked for you and I found you, and I asked you, and with a very good performance, you had a university performance. I asked you, please come over and do what you want. Now you are doing PhD. So your opportunities are all there.
Yes.
Let us take track of these people. When I come to adjudicate, say I'm going to Mombasa to adjudicate, I will always ask this teacher who had the best actress, best actor, take track of this girl. Please, I want to have her next year if she is Form 3. I want to have her in the next year if she is Form 2. I bring them together. And the same thing I do when they graduate, leave campus. I put them on the WhatsApp group. We have the WhatsApp group for the PowerHouse, and we have the WhatsApp group for the entire KMC. So I moderate. I'm the administrator in both of them, and I have a group of more than 1,000, and I know where they are. Even those who are in the US, those who are in Dubai, that's Kulundu, and others. I know where they are, and we chat. And those who are, some of them diversify. They go to KDF. Some of them diversify. They go to National Intelligence Services because of their background in journalism and also in theater. So I know what they're doing. I know where they are. Some of them are in mainstream media. The Ferdinand Omondis of this world, who are in BBC.
Calvo.
I talked to you about Solomon Mogera. Solomon Mogera was the chairman in 1990. Calvin, Jabedo, Fred Ndumuli of the Legends, KBC, formerly at Citizen, and K24. Dennis Itumbi, Pierra McKenna, Sophie Kenya of BBC World Service. I always follow them. And they add value. They add value. So I follow them.
You have also not just teaching and performing and adjudication and emceeing. You are also a legendary TV interviewer.
Oh yes, I joined this industry of television program production and interview way back in 1996. I just joined KMC and I was very, very vibrant, and I had begun writing poetry. I was writing poems. I had come to KBC with a proposal to do a program, and at some point we had Art Zone, where I did participate shortly as a presenter and content developer. Then, in search of an answer, I began as a poem performer, because after every topic, say abortion, after every topic, say drug abuse, towards the end, we'd give it 3 minutes to do a poetry, to add value as a content segment. So I would write poems and perform. So I would write, perform, and we had a presenter. And this guy got a scholarship to go abroad for studies. And then Catherine Wamoyo, the legendary producer, the king of Kenya soap opera.
The king and queen.
And queen. She asked me, now that you are doing poetry, can you also do presentation work? And I would even, at some point, I would also assist in developing the questions, developing the questionnaire, because in a presentation you must have the milestones, and then out of which you'll be able to know how to move. You can't just begin talking.
Yes.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if you deviate, you come back to the script. Deviate, come back to the script. So I would do that. Then she told me, so uko na suti leo? Why not? Nikaanza kazi.
Kwa hivyo ulianza kuvaa suti kitambo?
Oh, suti nianza kuvaa kitambo hata nikiwa mtoto.
Lakini birthday suit.
By the way. So she told me, and I sat and I did the work, and from that time tukaendelea. At some point the program, and I was at one point the Utna Presenter of the Year. That was 1999, and then moved on, and then we stopped the show around 2004. Then when my producer moved on to Royal Media Services, and then later on, much later, I now went to Edu TV, that is owned by the Minister of Education, that is Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, where basically I'm a presenter for EduQuest, dealing with issues that touch on education from ECD going on to the university level.
Wow.
So I love doing that. I always say I preach wine, I drink wine. I can't preach wine and I take water.
Preach wine.
Yes.
And drink wine.
Yeah, drink wine.
With some whiskey.
Yes, very good. So when I'm teaching my students on issues of showbiz business, I always tell them, look here, I also do the same. So it's part of it. As a consultant, that's what I do.